NRL Fanatics here, back today with a video, and I'm going to do something very, very different, and this is going to be a rundown of our next 5 games after this week's bye round, give my thoughts on where we can pick up wins and where we are going to struggle the most in the next few weeks. So let's get into it. Now, the first game after the bye is against the Melbourne Storm in round 14 up there at Central Coast Stadium, and it's the 14th, round 14, Sunday, June the 13th at 2 p.m. Now, we know with the Melbourne Storm, they are one of the top teams of the competition at the moment. They're sitting in second spot on the ladder, and for me, they will be up there come the end of the season in the grand final. I've got them in my grand final at the moment, and I know people will say, "Oh, Melbourne will struggle out Cameron Smith in the finals," which I think is wrong. I don't think they will. I personally think they will be very hard to beat come the big games at the end of the season. So, Melbourne, they've got a lot of injuries, but they can put in anyone. They can put in a D team, a B team, a C team. Melbourne, they've just got that much depth. They got much depth, and for the Warriors, this is going to be one of the very difficult games. Now, how are they going to respond after their loss to the Cowboys after the bye? It's going to take a bit of, digestion to get through that result, because even though it was a close game, I've said it many times, it was a missed opportunity, and this is a game that for me, it's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be very, very difficult. Melbourne, will they have players back up after Origin? I'm not sure. I personally think they'll probably rest some players, and even if they do rest some players, Melbourne, they're still going to be difficult opponents. And even though it's at Central Coast Stadium, the Warriors know they need to aim up, because Melbourne are a top team, and the Warriors have struggled against the top teams this year so far. Now, we've seen against the Sydney Roosters. I know the Sydney Roosters going into that game weren't even in the top 4, but still, they're a top team regardless, and we've struggled against them. But look, personally, I'd hate to say it here, but I think this is a game that I'm going to chalk off as a loss. I think we'll lose this game, but I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope we can turn up and play for full 80 minutes, compete with the Melbourne Storm. Look, if we lose to Melbourne and it's close, so be it. But if we get flogged against Melbourne, it's worrying signs, because, our for and against is not great at the moment, and it could cost us a final spot at the end of the season. There's already results that have already cost us right now. So if we do produce an upset victory over the Melbourne Storm on the Central Coast, that'd be great. I mean, I'd love to see it happen. I hope it does happen. But this is a game that I think, unfortunately, Melbourne will show their class and probably beat us in this one. Now, the next game in round 15 is on Saturday, the 19th of June. It's the Newcastle Knights versus the New Zealand Warriors up there at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle, and it's a 3 p.m. kickoff in Australia. So, look, for the Newcastle Knights, now they had a win against the Manly Seagulls, a much needed win, very much what they needed, because, they've been struggling lately. Their form's not been great. I believe, it's because of the likes of Ponga and Mitchell Pearce being out. They missed those 2 players in their side. So, look, Newcastle, I know they beat Manly, good win for them, but what can you read into that result against the Manly Seagulls? Manly weren't great on the day. They had a few questionable calls go against them from Ben Cummins. Their discipline for Manly wasn't great either. There were some decisions from Manly that, killed them. But look, Newcastle, they're always tough opponents. The Warriors tend to struggle when they go up to Newcastle and play Newcastle. So, can we beat Newcastle? Yes, I believe we can. And I'm going to chalk off a win here. I think we'll bounce back from our loss to the Melbourne Storm. Now, the next game is on Friday the 2nd of July in round 16. Is on the Central Coast Stadium in Gosford. So, yet again, we get a game on the Central Coast after a away game. It is against the St. George Illawarra Dragons. And look, the Dragons, you know, it's hard to get a read on the Dragons. I mean, look, they started the season off well. People were saying, "Oh, look, has Anthony Griffin, you know, done something great? He's turned the team," and you know, everyone ripped them off, said they'll be bottom half of the ladder, and you know, they were doing quite well for the first couple of weeks of the comp, and then you know they've started to drop down a bit in form. You know, this is a game for me, like for the Warriors now. After their win over Newcastle Knights, which I'm hoping they will get, I'm hoping this will be back-to-back wins because we haven't had back-to-back wins this season. The Dragons now, who knows what form they're going to come into going into this game. But this game could be pretty crucial for both teams if they want to be top 8 team at the end of the year. And I think the Warriors can finally do it. They can back up a good performance and get back-to-back wins here against the Dragons on the Central Coast. I believe we will go 2 wins in a row. Now the next game is in round 17. It's on Sunday, the 11th of July. And it's against the Cronulla Sharks at Strata Jubilee Stadium in Sydney. Now, the Warriors and the Sharks, now if you look at last year, for both these teams, this was a game where it decided who was going to make the top 8 at the end of the 2020 NRL season. It was unfortunately the Cronulla Sharks that broke our hearts and knocked us out of top 8 contention. And, you know, we tend to struggle against Cronulla Sharks. I think our record against Cronulla is not great at all, and this is at Australia Jubilee Stadium in Sydney, and this is an opportunity for us to go 3 wins in a row. So, you know, we need to be chalking off a couple wins in a row to get ourselves into that top 8 position. And Cronulla, they're going to be a difficult opponent. This is going to be another difficult game. Same with the Melbourne Storm game. This is going to be a difficult one as well. And although Cronulla are struggling this season and they sacked John Morris mid-season, it's still going to be a tough game, and it's in Sydney as well. So, you know, I will chalk off a win here for us, but I'm going to think it's going to be very, very close here. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll go down to the wire. You know, Sean Johnson against the Warriors, you know, does he play a blinder against us? We've seen in the past with former Warriors players, they play a blinder against us. And I think, you know, you look at the last time Sharks played us, remember Toby Rudolph, he scored that try that killed our finals hopes. And, you know, we've got to watch out for the likes of Toby Rudolph, Talakai, you know, those players, William Kennedy, you know, they're all great players for the Sharks. And I think this is a game that, you know, we can finally chalk off a win against Cronulla, and I think we can do it. And I believe we can go 3 wins in a row in this one. Now, the 5th game I'm going to go through, this is round 18, and it's against the top of the table Penrith Panthers. And it's on Sunday, the 18th of July, and it's a 2 p.m. kickoff. And, well, this is going to be a massive test for us. Now, look, going through 5 games now, and going through the 5 games, and I believe that if we go 4 wins from 5, or, you know, 3 wins from 5, personally I think 3 wins from 5 is not too bad, but if we go 1 from 5, I mean, look, our top 8 chances is going to go down the drain, in my opinion. We need to win probably 4 out of 5 games in the next couple of weeks, and this game is going to be very, very hard. Now, personally, I think Penrith, you know, how will they go during the Origin period? It's going to be interesting, you know, how they all go during the Origin period. And look, I think Panthers, you know, I think last year we came very close to beating them too. We were a team that really, really close to beating them. And I mean, I think we lost to them 18-12, I believe it was. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But Penrith are a different beast this year so far. And they're my premiership favourites at the moment, Penrith. Look, it all remains to be seen whether they can do it on the big stage at the end of the season. But this is a game which I love to chalk off a win here. But, you know, against Penrith, even though it's at Central Coast Stadium, I think we'll lose this one. So, yeah, that is my rundown of the 5 games coming up after the bye, my thoughts on where we're going to win, where we're going to lose. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts? Which 5 games do you believe we can win? Which couple of games do you believe we're going to lose? Let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget also to hit that subscribe button. If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the like button on the video, and I'll see you in the next one.